So I'm here today with Austin Bach, and he is with Farley Insurance, and also in my B&I networking group, which, so I've gotten to know Austin and really love working with him. So I brought him in today to kind of help him give us a feel for what sets Farley Insurance and you apart. So we'll just start with welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm a little nervous. I know the camera adds 10 pounds, so I've been working on my diet.
Yeah. Well, I thought maybe you could kind of tell us maybe a little bit about your background.
Okay. From Richmond, Virginia. I went to the University of South Carolina where I studied insurance and investment finance. Moved here May of 2015, and from there started a career in financial planning. Did that for 2 years and some change. Really enjoyed it. It was a tough gig, but I learned a lot from it. Met my boss, Brent, currently at another B&I group where we had kind of gotten along really well, and he had sent me some business. I had sent him some things, and then he was growing, and it seemed like a great opportunity to jump on board, and loving it so far. So
good. So, and I know that background really helps you with it, your business really well, and I know that Farley Insurance is an independent agency. So tell us a little bit about being an independent versus a captured agent.
Okay. So captive agents work for an insurance company, so really they can only offer you the company's product that they work for. That's not a bad thing, but usually those companies, especially the big names, have specific appetites. So if you're not the perfect fit for them, your rates are typically going to be pretty high, and your agent doesn't really have the option to shop it for you.
Right.
As an independent, we work with these companies, not for them. So we work with about 15 companies. Many of them are big names too that you might be familiar with, like Progressive, Travelers, MetLife, Liberty Mutual. And with that being said, we're not tied to sell Progressive over Travelers or MetLife over Liberty Mutual. It's just a matter of finding the best rate for the coverage that the client needs. So that's really important, and I think it makes it easy for the client. There's no extra charge for us to do that, to shop it for them. It just takes the pain of going to 15 insurance companies by themselves to get those quotes, and then in 3 years' time, if the rates, they get a renewal and they say, hey, this is kind of high, we can just, we have the information, so we just reshop it and make sure everything's still the same. And then I'm still their agent, so it's easy instead of, hey, I got a new insurance guy now, and then 3 years later I got another new one.
No one really knows your story. I like being with an independent because you can shop my rate, but also you speak the language. So if I'm out here shopping on the internet trying to go from price to price to price, I don't necessarily know I'm going from apples to apples. I could be going apples, oranges, pineapples.
Absolutely.
And I want to get what's best for me. It's not my world. I don't understand it. So I think having an independent agent is critical.
Absolutely.
And one that gives me good service. So talk a little bit about the service that sets you apart.
So I think that one of our main competitive advantages is that we service in-house. So I have all my clients' phone numbers. I give them my cell phone. Sometimes I regret it. Got some calls on Thanksgiving, but it's more personal, and they can call me for everything. The only time they call the 1-800 number is if they have a claim, but they still call me first so that we can advise them and say, hey, this is what you should and shouldn't say. Should you even file a claim? Because $0 claim, it'll still go on there, and insurance companies will say, hey, we're going to jack your rate up. So that being said, so if I can't answer, we have an in-house service team as well. This is pretty uncommon with brokers, even if they're independent. They have usually a sales center where they'll sell you the company, shop your insurance, and then they say, okay, from now on you call the 1-800 number where it's a call center, and then you might speak with Joe this time, then Samantha the next time. So it's a little less personal on that front as well. So
I think that's very important for me because something goes wrong, you don't know, should I call or not? Who am I legally allowed to talk to without it affecting my insurance? So that eliminates that barrier. So I think that's a big point.
Absolutely.
Don't you?
Yeah, and then, just having a third-party representative, kind of, you're familiar, as a realtor, you're representing your clients when you're purchasing a home. There's things that go on that the client doesn't know, and we're able to, filter through that and make sure they understand, and we also pride ourselves on educating the client. I feel like insurance is one of those things where I have to have it, and I have it, and I don't look at it. I just have it. But, you're buying a $300,000 home, that's the biggest purchase of your life, and you're insuring it, and you don't know what you have. That's kind of tough. We see that so much, and we always say, hey, this is why you have X amount for dwelling,
Right.
other structures, personal property, personal liability, etc.
Mm-hmm.
To make sure they understand. People insure their cell phones, and but seem to forget that the homeowners insurance it's
pretty big
it's more
deal.
than just having it.
Yeah.
And same for autos.
And all the different deductibles and the variables
Mhm.
that go with that, of smart, how you thinking that through, rebuilding the value of the house as it would be in the market today.
Mhm.
And mortgage companies are keen on that too. They want to know how much insurance you have. So you work with a lot of
Absolutely.
lenders too,
Yes,
right?
yeah. Primarily, I don't do any sort of cold calling or
Mhm.
door knocking or anything like that. We have really good relationships with mortgage lenders and some
Mhm.
realtors too, but mainly from the mortgage lenders. To
Yeah.
say, hey, talk to Austin, and whether they have insurance or they're a first-time home buyer, they are
Right.
always willing to talk with us just to get a second opinion.
Sure.
And it usually works out pretty good. So.
Do I get a better rate if I do the house, the car, the boat,
Yes,
whatever?
yeah, package discounts are beneficial. I would say probably 90% of our customers, will go with the package.
Yeah.
It usually makes sense. I mean,
Sure.
every once in a while there will be an odd situation where it'll be, we might put your home with, MetLife and then your auto with National General or something,
Mhm.
just because of circumstantial
Right.
things like records and claim
Mhm.
history. But yeah, the package discount is, can't be it.
Almost the best deal, yeah, that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Is there any misconceptions out there that you think people have about your business that you'd like to kind of clean up?
I guess myths and misconceptions. One, I remember growing up and people always thought like, oh, red cars are more expensive to insure. Like, I don't know if it was like the red
Yes.
sports car type of thing, but the color of your car doesn't matter with the insurance. There's no option to say it's silver or black or what have
Okay.
you. There is one that when I came to the industry, I was surprised. It's so if personal property is stolen from your vehicle, it's actually covered under your homeowner's insurance.
Really?
Hmm. Yeah, it's I didn't know that until I
didn't
signed
know
up
that,
for
yeah.
this gig. So, and then what else is there? The most common personal liability claim is from dog bites. So that's
Really?
why companies ask if you have aggressive breeds like German Shepherds or Pit Bulls or so.
And you got a way to work around, like, let's say I had aggressive dogs and they're living in my house, what do I do?
There's companies, so that's the good thing also about working with the broker is that we have companies fit for everybody, usually. Sometimes we do send out business if it's not the right fit or
Right.
if it's more cost effective for the client to just say, hey, based on your record, you go to Geico and they'll
Right.
get you a low rate and cover you. But for the dog situation, we have carriers that will write it.
Okay.
But so, whether it's, you have a DUI or whether you have a bunch of claims or a
Right.
bunch of accidents or a bunch of tickets, each company looks at different things when they rate. They all have different underwriting
Right.
requirements. So, some companies might be better with tickets, some are better with accidents. So.
Gotcha. I got one for you. So, let's say I got a buyer that wants to buy this house,
Mhm.
and the insurance agent is checking out the house, getting the rates. Are you looking at the prior claims of the previous owner before you rate?
Actually, that's a good question. Yes. So I don't personally pull the information. So every auto or home quote we do, we order reports and it brings the claim history in. So it will show even if it's a new buyer and he hasn't lived in the home yet, it will show the previous claims from the previous homeowner. The only time I've really seen any sort of pushback with that, again, I would say like big water claims are ones like, and it depends on the company too. Like Progressive homeowners, they don't like when there's a big water claim, like over $10,000.
Even though it's a previous guy?
Just because it's more of a risk for them moving forward with, what else could happen for them, water or mold and such.
Potential things that could come up at a later date.
But then, if they say that, well, I usually call the underwriter and, see if they'll make an exception. If not, then, we have other carriers. To put it
Okay.
with. So again, that kind of goes back to that point. So some companies don't like if
Right.
the roof is 30 years old or if it's not updated within the last 20 years.
Right.
So we have, special companies we can put them with if, that's the case. And,
When does the mortgage guy bring you in on the deal?
um,
Are you in the beginning or when you're, are they still in the due diligence period? So like, let's say we had horrible claims and they were going to have unbelievable rates and they couldn't get around it.
I feel like I'm usually brought in when there's a closing date set and they say, hey, we need it by then.
Okay.
But sometimes I'll get a call like the day before.
Okay.
So it kind of depends, but we prefer to have everything in place 2 weeks at a time,
Sure.
just in case a date changes, or you know,
Right.
hey, we're not buying the property, or you know,
Right.
anything changes, we're ready for it, as opposed to, hey, I need it right now because we're closing.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh gosh, but yeah.
That's good. I just noticed your socks. I like
Oh,
them.
thank you. Keep it a little spicy.
Right. We gotta wear a suit, you know, let's have
Yeah.
some fun.
Well, everyone's wearing the blue suits, so
Yeah.
keep it fun.
Sure. Well, I appreciate all this information today.
Yeah.
I think it's really helpful. Who would you say is a good referral partner for you? It sounds like mortgage companies are good.
Yes, mortgage lenders are great. Realtors are great.
Mhm.
Recently, been getting a lot of business from financial planners.
Ah.
Just because you know it's not uncommon to save someone a couple $100, but you know every once in a while I'm saving someone $1,000,
Sure.
and I mean cash flow wise,
Yeah.
they can do a lot with that, and you know put
Reinvest.
that towards investments or pay down debt, or
Yeah.
you know
Good.
spending money.
Right, yeah. Well, I appreciate it so much, and I just want to encourage everybody to like our post, share it if you would, make some comments below. We'd love to get your feedback on this, and feel free to check out Austin and see if he can't help you with your insurance rates.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.